Good to be back in New York. What memories come to mind when you come back to New York?
All kinds, really. I mean, every time I fly in, honestly, it feels like you're kind of flying home.
Do you ever get in trouble? Like, do you ever got any good stories when you were?
And I lived in Jersey. I was married early.
Oh,
I had
that's
kids,
right.
So I was kind of stayed under the radar for the most part. And it really wasn't my personality. Really, just kind of go to the ballpark.
Wildest player you played with, though?
Wildest?
Who did you live vicariously through?
Vicariously through? Who was wild?
Because you had characters on that.
Yeah, I'd say Goose is probably the wildest guy I played with. Who was just that? He was kind of the anti what I would think of myself. Who would say he says anything he thinks about, says it loud, ultra competitive, just like he's kind of that figure.
But he's one of those baseball purists too, and like a reliever's a real reliever when you're pitching 3 innings there, and these guys who come in for 9 pitches. He has a problem with those save numbers, doesn't he?
He's definitely strong. He has strong opinions, and Goose is loud, but he's passionate. I mean, that's Goose, and that's the great thing about Goose. You may not totally agree with his opinions, but he's got them, and he says them, and that's the way he feels.
What kind of Yankee memorabilia do you still have?
Oh, lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Well, it's actually in storage, but lots of stuff from Mickey Mantle balls, Joe D, bats, some, Yogi, stuff that you meet these guys and you get a chance to grab a ball at Old Timers Day and you get one signed. And you throw it in the box and it's still there. Now it's in storage.
What was it like meeting Mickey Mantle?
Mickey was great. He was like a guy's guy. He was like one of those guys that was, hey kid, how you doing? You could tell the way his camaraderie with his own teammates at Old Timers Day. You could tell they just loved Mickey.
Yeah.
Mickey's just one of the boys.
What about Joe D?
Joe D was a little different. He was a little quieter and seemed almost shy to a point where, and so I didn't know him well. Sat on a dais or two with him. I remember Keith Hernandez and I think it was the Baseball Writers Association dinner, and we sat with Joe. And Keith, I think Joe's from San Francisco. Keith grew up in that area. Yeah. He asked Joe all kinds of questions. Joe's kind of no, he really wasn't talking. And Keith finally said, "What'd you like to do at the plate?" And Joe went, "I'd like to get right on top of the plate and pull everything." And he started talking hitting. Yeah. And that was kind of cool to see him open up and talk a little bit.
Who was the smartest guy you ever sat down and talked hitting to?
A lot of guys. I think, like for me, Lou Piniella taught me more about hitting and how hitting works than anyone. Probably the smartest guy you sit down with was Ted Williams.
You got that opportunity?
Yeah, Ted and myself and Boggs, they did a thing in Sports Illustrated years ago, talking hitting. That's when the weight shift was coming in, and the Charlie Lau and Walt Reniak.
Yeah.
Ted was kind of like, "No, you don't shift weight." And it was a pretty cool conversation with Peter Gammons.
Would you have a different launch angle now with your swing?
I don't think so.
Because that seems to be. Do you believe in that? Launch angle is part of the reason?
Here's what I believe. I believe that you should hit certain balls out of the ballpark, right? You know what I mean? I mean, if the pitch is there and you hit it with the proper technique, it's going out of the ballpark. I don't believe in practicing launch angle because I think that lengthens your swing. And we're seeing a change in the game now. Guys talking about launch angle, pitchers are throwing the ball up. And now there's going to be a weapon of up there, until guys will make that adjustment, either leaving that alone. But I believe in there's a difference in practicing launch angle and trying to get the ball in the air, right? If I'm hitting line drives in BP at 60 miles an hour, that may relate to getting the ball in the air at 95. Because if you're trying to get the ball in the air at 95 or at 60, you're lengthening your swing in batting practice. And now when you get to the game at 95, you're not catching up with that.
But you got this Jordan Hicks dude throwing 105 the other day. I mean,
yeah.
But do you believe that it's actually 105?
Sure it is. Sure, it's probably, but I probably also believe that 93 in my day was probably 96 or something.
Oh, you know what Nolan Ryan threw over 100.
Right, and I'm sure it was,
But you faced him, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but I faced him at 44, and you still had to gear it up. No, he was one of those guys, you better turn up the knob a little bit when you're facing Nolan. So, it was like 44, and and not in a negative way, but I faced Steve Carlton and Tom Seaver when they were older, and it was not the same. They changed the way they pitched, but Nolan was still a power pitcher in the 40s.
But who's the guy that you went in and you had to buckle up because he was bringing cheese?
Roger in '86.
Clemens. Well,
Yeah.
that was a magical year there.
Yeah, he was.
That was different.
That
That
was a power year where he was just spotting up the heater, and he could get it everywhere he wanted to go with it. Nolan, you had to gear it up all the time. Randy Johnson, you had to gear it up. There was a few guys that you had to turn up the knob.
Did you face Gooden?
Yeah, a little bit. But spring training more.
Oh, okay.
But we didn't have the interleague, so spring training.
But it wasn't the same?
No,
Doc
it
was 2 pitches, right?
No, it was good. No, Doc was good. I remember facing Doc, and we were both kind of the same. We were both young, right? So, and I didn't mind hitting the fastball. So it was a guy that really threw hard, didn't really bother me at all. But Doc was like, I really want to be calm, with him because the ball jumps at you, and in the breaking ball, you don't want to be trying to gear up to hit the heater. You just want to relax, no cheats at the heater, and then the breaking ball sits there for you a little bit.
Did you ever feel overwhelmed like Kruk did in the All-Star game with Randy Johnson?
In the playoffs. And I shouldn't say overwhelmed because I was swinging the bat really good in '95 at the end, but Randy had too much for me.
Really?
Yeah, he got to a point where when he was throwing, when he couldn't get the slider over when he was younger, I know I'm getting a fastball. At that point, I'm hitting a fastball.
Was this when he was in Montreal?
No, he was in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
And he wasn't getting the slider over early on.
Okay.
Right, and then when he started getting the slider over, there really was nowhere to hit it. For me, the only place to hit the slider was like down the third baseline. And who's going to try to hit Randy Johnson down the third baseline when the ball, it's just on you so fast. So that series, I was swinging really good. And when he gets the slider over, it was just like, there's nothing I can do with it.
But that release point, was he even going out further left against a left-handed batter? Like he was going to use that frame.
No, it's out there. It was out there pretty good. It was just so hard, Dan. I'm serious. It was just like he let it go. It was like, oh, that's too late. I'm too late.
Wait, it's that quick?
It was. It really. It felt like it. Like because if you're thinking slider, and it's like it's just getting out here. It's like, oh, that's already on me, right? And that's just you're too late almost all the time.
What kind of eyesight do you have?
Now, I have glasses.
Oh yeah,
now.
glasses. Because I wanted to do a story on great eyesight and how it's beneficial for hitters because you can wear glasses or contacts, but there are guys who just have naturally good eyesight.
No, I think I was like, one of those 2015 guys.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was helping me. I was dominant front side.
Right eye.
Right eye was dominant.
Do you remember your first at bat?
No. You know what? Maybe I don't. I think it was.
You guys have great memories.
But I think it's Jim Slayton.
Okay.
I think it was Jim Slayton. And I seen Jim pitch. I'm from Evansville, right? So he pitched at AAA with the Tigers, or maybe it was the Brewers in. So he throws me a fastball that I pop up, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna hit here. This guy, you know what I mean? And so I popped up a fastball, and then Jim was with the Dodgers later when I was coaching out there. He goes, no, that was a changeup, Donnie.
You thought it was a fastball.
Yeah,
He said it was a changeup.
It was a fastball.
And then you realized the pitching was going to get a whole lot better. Did you have your welcome to the major leagues moment?
For me, the moment, you mean just getting to the big leagues?
No, just where you'd go, like either it's really good or it's going to be really difficult. Guys talk about that where it's a welcome to the NBA and they're guarding LeBron or Michael Jordan. Or did you ever have one of those?
I'd say the moment for me was probably meeting Rod Carew at the '84 All-Star Game in San Francisco. Making the team as kind of a rookie. I played partially in '83. Rod was one of my heroes as a kid. I wanted to be just like Rod. Hit the ball all over the ballpark, hit for average. I always loved that. And when I got a chance, I made the All-Star team. He gave me a bat when I got there. He had signed it for me. He must have read that I had said something about
that's nice.
And everything. And for me, that was like, man, Rod Carew.
He's Don Mattingly joining us in the Man Cave, the Marlins manager. Lost to the Mets yesterday. Next game will be at, tonight at 7:10 Eastern. Are you having how much fun are you having?
I'm having a lot of fun. I mean, you don't like when we get into streaks where we've lost some games in a row. That part has been hard. What we're doing is exhilarating, honestly. I think Derek coming in and what he's set forth for us with the building of the system through the minor leagues, how we're going to play, a clear direction. And you feel like we're going to get somewhere, and it's going to be special when we get there.
Are they going to be patient, though, with you?
Oh, I don't know. And that's part you don't worry about. You know what I mean? You do your best. You try to develop these kids, and I'm always about, I want to make my players as good as they can possibly be. And if we can build them and develop them, and I'm not the right guy for the next step, then so be it.
But would you rather, and maybe this is an obvious answer, but would you rather have youth that you're teaching and have more hands-on as opposed to a veteran lineup? You know, you had the Dodgers where, you know, the expectations were high. There's a big payroll there. Now you got to win the World Series.
I mean, as a coach and a teacher, you know, you like the young guys but you don't like them better than the old guys, right?
Yeah.
Or the guys that with some experience, because I had both in LA. Started off when I went out there with Joe, you know, it's Ethier and Kemp and Russell Martin and a whole group of young guys, Kershaw, these guys are coming along, right? And that's fun to help those guys. But it's also nice when Manny walks in the door out there and drives in 50 runs in 50 days and comes into the cage and does some things that you've been talking about keeping it simple, stay in the middle of the field, and you see Manny come in and just do his thing, and then your young guys maybe pay attention to what you're talking about a little bit more.
When did you know Kershaw was going to be Kershaw?
Pretty much right away. My son Preston roomed with Clayton. They were both in rookie ball together. And he told me right away, his dad's guy can pitch in the big leagues right now. And what does he know? He's 18. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But then a couple years later, when I go over to the Dodgers from the Yankees, and Clayton comes over and pitches in a spring training game, gives up a homer, I think, early to Pujols. Maybe his first guy he faces. And then the next guy comes right back out after. And you go, ooh, this kid's going to be, you know, you see that when a guy gets hit, he doesn't back away, comes right back. It's like a young kid, Seager, coming up. You see him come over in spring training out of the minor league camp, and his first swing is a full out, let it go, high fastball. He fouls it back, and you're like, ooh, this is going to be fun, right? You can see it right away.
Would you be okay now if you were playing with 150 strikeouts?
Absolutely not.
But not today's men, remember, it was embarrassing if you struck out 100 times, right?
Yeah, I get it, but I just think there's some value to, you know, putting the ball in play. But I see both sides, right? You see the side that says, don't just spread out, play pepper and peck balls to the infielder and give up your whole swing. And so I see that mentality, and there's times you want to keep swinging the bat. And I think there's a happy medium. I know for myself, I didn't really strike out at all early on. I would really choke up and want to put the ball in play. As I played a little bit longer, I knew I could pretty much have my at-bat, just change my thinking a little bit, where I'm looking for the ball, what I'm trying to cover, still have an aggressive at-bat, and really keep the strikeouts down.
But if you look at what these guys are doing now, it's either everybody's throwing 97, 98, and everybody's swinging for a home run, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's
in general,
right?
It seems like that, right?
Yes, but it feels like it's okay if you strike out. It's a badge of courage if you strike out 150 times. Like, hey, you got your cuts up there.
Yeah, 150 seems kind of okay, right? It seems.
And you got guys getting up to 200.
Yeah, it's tough, and I think you can have that guy. You can't have 3 or 4 of those guys. You know, if you can, like a guy that strikes out 180, 190, 200 times, but he's hitting 45 and he's walking some.
Yeah.
Right? So at least he's getting on base. But if you have 3 of those guys, 3 or 4 of those guys in your lineup, you're going to go through games where you just don't even put the ball in play hardly.
I know.
And you can't score runs. You get a guy to third and you can't score him. I think there's going to be a mix of guys that can. It's hard to find now a guy that can just true hit, like you see pure hit. But, right, that can use the whole field.
Well, Trout can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a few guys out there.
But would you rather, if they were stocks, would you invest in Trout or Bryce Harper?
Well, that's a tough one. Either one of those guys you take. For me, I think I'm probably more of a Trout guy. I love Bryce because he's a great player and he plays really hard. Trout seems more day in, day out. Even keel, just kind of keeps going, steady as the ship goes. Not quite as, doesn't seem as exciting, because the way Bryce plays is exciting and it happens fast. Trout just keeps kind of cruising along, getting his hits.
Old school.
Yeah, but not so much. He plays. He has fun when you watch him play. He's got a smile on his face.
But he's a 5-tool guy. You know, that's another thing. I mean, not that Harper's not a great all-around player.
Bryce is the same guy. They're the same guy, right?
Trout's better. He's more consistent.
That's what you see as far as the day in, day out.
Yes. But that's what I want. I think Harper can give you bigger moments, but I think Trout is going to give you something that, you plug in every single day.
It's kind of what, it's you take Trout's okay, I get Harper.
All right, that's fine. All right, fine. All right. I'll let you have the first pitcher then. What pitcher do you want?
Right now?
Right now.
Not sure who I would take right now. I got to think about that one a little bit.
All right, you waited too long. I'll take Scherzer.
This moment, I'll still take Kershaw.
Okay, all right.
I'll still take Kershaw.
And you should.
I believe in this guy.
Yeah.
He's one of but Max is obviously a handful himself.
All right, you were part of the bar mitzvah video for this a couple of years ago, Fritzy's son. And I don't know if you were told how many people were involved in the bar mitzvah.
I don't think so.
Because there were 48 celebrities involved in the bar mitzvah, Donnie.
That's good. I'm one of 48.
You were one of 48.
I feel better about that.
Well, only a few of them were baseball. It was from all walks of life.
I know, but I don't know how you presented this to Donnie.
I presented it as that my son Jordan would love to have a bar mitzvah congratulatory message if he gets an opportunity to take a moment to do that for the special video montage.
This is how it looked and sounded here. This is Don Mattingly.
Oh, no.
Jordan, how you doing? Don Mattingly. Happy bar mitzvah, my friend. And what is it? Mazel tov. I feel like I'm supposed to throw like a shot glass or something right now. I don't think that's. I think that's Greek. But anyway, happy bar mitzvah.
All right. Yeah.
I think I got those glasses here right now.
You were at home.
That was not the house I'm living in now, and that house we had redid that kitchen too. So I'd like to make sure we know that wallpaper in the back we got rid of.
That was very awesome of you, dude.
Yeah, one of 48 celebrities to be part of the exclusive club.
I feel good about that. As long as you know like 50.
My son loved it. That was so cool.
Did you see? We brought in the mannequin, the Don Mattingly mannequin.
I see that. I like it.
Now we had every time you get thrown from a game when you were with the Dodgers, you would send in a piece of clothing. So we had your hat, we had your socks, we had your pants, we had your jersey, we had everything, but your jockstrap. I think 2 pairs of pants. And then we got the Florida Marlins when you got tossed. You sent us the jersey over there.
Yeah.
And we got the hat. Have you gotten tossed?
Nope.
Not this year.
I'm over that, Dan. I'm over that.
Can you get tossed tonight? Just.
I think the last time I said I'm not going to get tossed the rest of the year.
I got tossed that night. I know. Did you think about that as you went out?
Absolutely not. I didn't think one bit about it, but yeah, I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens out there.
Have you ever asked to be thrown?
No.
You would never do that?
No. I've wanted to a couple of times. I've told Wally, the bench coach, I said, I'm getting ready. I got to go. This is 6th inning. We're down 12 runs. I said, I'm going to go get a shower.
I'm going to get started on a beer here. Yeah. Also, we have you have Fanboy here. And Seton O'Connor, now, Seton, you have to walk over to Donnie to ask this because you tried to do this when nobody was watching or listening. So I said, if you're going to ask for something from Donnie, then you have to do it on the show.
Yeah, well, so my brother, growing up, we were huge Yankee fans, and he truly loves baseball. He loves the game. He watches constantly. He's got it on 5 screens. But growing up as a kid, he was a huge Don Mattingly fan. And you're talking about Rod Carew and sort of modeling your game after it. We spent a lot of afternoons in our backyard trying to copy your batting stance. Although I don't think he was a lefty, but either way. So yeah, I tried to talk him into coming in today. To just kind of hang out and make your day even more awkward for you, because that would have been a lot of fun. But yeah, so I was wondering if I could get an autograph for him, since he said I was like, Dave, you should come in and say hi to Donnie, and he was just like, nah, I would never do that to you. I couldn't make it that awkward. So I was hoping that I could come home with an autograph for him.
It'd be great if Donnie said no.
It would be awesome.
He should have came in.
Yeah, he didn't come in, so I wouldn't sign, Donnie.
You blew it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you tell little kids you get somewhere, you're in a line, and they just look at you. They won't ask.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just look at them. I'm like, you gotta ask.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on
like
now.
Halloween now. Nobody even says trick or treat anymore.
I know.
You're like, you
Put
gotta
their
say
bag
it.
there.
Say it. Trick or treat.
Did you ask for autographs when you played?
I asked for, I would trade bats. I'd like to trade bats with guys like George Brett, guys I like, Jim Rice, different guys I would trade. I would like to like an autographed bats were something I liked.
But you have these showcased in your house?
I do
Are they
not.
all
They're
in storage?
All in storage with the first change, the first divorce storage of.
You didn't lose any of that stuff in the divorce,
No,
did you?
I got to keep the memorabilia, all my stuff, but
They don't saw the bats in half and like your ex-wife gets half or nothing. No. That's good. Seton, do you want to bring the gear over here for Donnie to sign?
Oh yeah, would you do that?
Sure.
Cool.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the weirdest place you've been approached to sign something?
Probably a bathroom somewhere. You know what I mean? You're going to the bathroom and the guy's like, I know this is weird, but
but would you?
Yeah.
Or they want to shake your hand as you're coming out of the bathroom as well.
That's an old one.
All right. So let's see. There we go. Signing the hat, the Yankee hat.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, signing the Yankee hat. Yeah.
Making Danette dreams come true left and right here.
That's what he does. That's yeah, Paulie.
I didn't get anything. Donnie, can you make my mortgage payment next month or something? I mean, anything?
He would have, but the
Well,
divorce.
mine.
Yeah. Hey, it's great to see you. I'm glad you're having fun, and hopefully you don't get tossed tonight. Who are you facing tonight with the Mets? Do you even know?
Yeah, Wheeler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Wheeler.
Yeah, you own Wheeler.
Well, we haven't faced him too much.
No, I know. I just
Yeah.
figured I'd throw that out there, spark something, get some controversy going.
Get something going.
Yeah, get you thrown out of a game here. Continental Tire Coach's Corner, the Marlins manager, Don Mattingly. We are back to close up shop here in New York right after this.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.